an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
You know what? What can one of these quarterbacks or wide receivers do for me this year to make a wager? It's got to be the running conditions there for Jaden Daniels.
In regards to Jaden Daniels, you know I was on him in regards to the Heisman Trophy. I actually think he's going to do it on the ground, through the air, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, playing in Cliff Kingsbury's offense where he wants to spread it and throw it. I think he's going to put up dynamic numbers.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
New to the Live Golf Plus app. Watch Live Golf any way you want it. Follow any group. Replay any shot. Anytime, anywhere. Any questions? Watch Live Golf live and on demand.
He had 4 grabs in the first half for just over 30 yards, was injured, came back in briefly, and then had to be carted off.
We were pessimistic on Puka Nakua's injury to that same right knee, of that being a nothing, just a bursa, and that's it, as per Sean McVay. We felt there could be a small PCL component.
The early line, only on Sports.
Welcome in. It is Game Time Decisions on SportsGrid. We are live on a Tuesday night as we look to make it happen here with a full baseball board and a lot of WNBA to get to as well. Kevin Walsh with you here again on SportsGrid. We've got Coach James Young on deck. He'll be here in 10 minutes. Get a full slate of W picks from him. I've got some W action myself here on this Tuesday. We're going to talk to Joe Madden, get a baseball picks as well from Tom Vecchio later on. We'll talk with Brady Cannon, get his updates on everything he's seeing around the National Football League and, contest, Survivor, if you're still in it. Salute, good for you. We'll check in with Dave Sharapan, where there's a lot of market movement through 2 weeks. And one thing I know we'll hit with Dave, and where I would like to begin tonight, is the news that broke around 2-3 hours ago that Tua Tagovailoa was headed to IR. And when the players put on IR, that means they're going to miss 4 weeks of football. And what that means for the Miami Dolphins is that they now will go to battle without Tua for at least 4 weeks. And I think that decision being made by Miami is a very interesting one. Because when it comes to a concussion, you never necessarily have a scenario where you know definitively it's 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It could be much longer than that, right? We do not know a realistic timeline for Tua. I mean, we knew he wasn't going to play in Seattle. It's on the board. He doesn't play again this year. The reality for some is we're not sure if Tua Tagovailoa is going to play again in his career. That is the state of things with Tua Tagovailoa. But the Miami Dolphins putting him on the IR for 4 games, I think it does suggest that they aren't even considering, right, Tua returning too soon. And I think that means that the Miami Dolphins are going to now have to try and figure out quarterback without Tua Tagovailoa. Now, many people will feel as if by bringing in Tyler Huntley, having Skylar Thompson on the roster, they've done that. I am not sure for Miami that is good enough. But I'm also not sure if there's any more they can actually do. If you look for the Miami Dolphins, the last time we were seeing the Tua Tagovailoa injuries and concussions consistently in 2022, there were 5 football games in the regular season and 1 in the playoffs where their leading passer was not Tua, right? He was injured early in that Cincinnati game. The concussions were there for Tua Tagovailoa, and there were 5 games where he ended up not their leading passer. They were 1-4 in the regular season and lost in the playoffs. The one regular season win that they had was against a terrible New York Jets team, where the final score was 11-6 Miami. The Dolphins, again, nearly went winless without Tua. They finished the season 9-8. As I said, so 1-4 without Tua that season, finished at 9-8. It's an 8-4 football team that was trending towards the top of the conference. Well, now let's take a look at this season's schedule. 4 football games without Tua at least. At Seattle, that line is already out and available. It was at 1.5.5. I know yesterday we've seen 6.5s start to appear, and then now it's been completely bought back the other direction with a 4.5-point spread. I don't know if that's people betting on Tyler Huntley, but a swath of money has come in on the Miami Dolphins. Follow that up by hosting the Tennessee Titans. They then will go to New England on a shorter week. That Titans game is a Monday nighter. They'll hit a bye, and then they'll go to Indianapolis off that bye. 4 games without Tua, 5 weeks without Tua, because it's not the IR is 4 games, not 4 weeks, and the bye comes in between. So at Seattle, a 4.5-point line. What that says to me is against the Titans at home, they'll be favored. And in New England, it will be under a field goal either direction. It's probably under a field goal against Tennessee unless they upset Seattle this week. They'll hit the bye. They'll go to Indianapolis. The Colts have had 2 very odd results. They've lost both football games. I think that game you're going to expect to see Indianapolis a favorite, but not by a touchdown, right? We don't expect that. For the Miami Dolphins, the way things are lining up in this exact moment is they have actually found themselves with 4 workable football games. And while I know Kyler Murray had maybe the best quarterback game through the early portions of this season just on Sunday, Arizona at home is a winnable football game for Miami as well. I look at this schedule, and I am easily remembering why I bet the Miami Dolphins to win the AFC. Because this is manageable. It's almost looking somewhat easy. I mean, if you want to go a step further on that Miami schedule, just entertain me. After the Colts game, it's home against Arizona. Then it's at Buffalo. Okay. I'm not sure it matters if Dan Marino plays that game with what we've seen from the Dolphins. At the Rams, that team's very banged up. Now, maybe in November they're all back, but maybe not. At Vegas, you expect that to be winnable. At New England, you expect that to be winnable. I don't think I'll suggest Jordan Love isn't back by Thanksgiving, but if he wasn't back by Thanksgiving, that would obviously be something for the Dolphins. But again, this is a very workable schedule here for Miami. But that's why this quarterback situation is something they need to get right. The Dolphins are not dead in the water. If I don't even want to use, I'm not going to use a specific player. If another quarterback, if there are other teams, if they lost their quarterback for 4 weeks, you'd be like, just rip it up. Nothing they can do. All right? They will lose all of those games. I don't even care who stands in front of them. For Miami, of the 4 games we know Tua will be missing, they're going to be all of these games will probably be about a field goal or less, other than the Seattle game, which is 4.5. So for Miami, that's why you can't, though, dilly-dally with Skyler and Tyler Huntley. You have to be aggressive in figuring out your quarterback situation. Now, maybe people will feel like they have by bringing in Tyler Huntley. And, again, maybe people think Tyler Huntley could start this week, and that's why that number's come down to 4.5. But this is a Miami Dolphins team that if they play Huntley this week and he's bad, you can't just keep letting it happen.
You need to be on the phone with the Ryan Tannehills. Nudge Brady. It's not going to happen, but nudge Brady. See if the Jets will go in division with Tyrod Taylor. See if the Carolina Panthers will trade Bryce Young. I don't know if you want to go for Russell Wilson out of Pittsburgh. I think they get rid of him, though, I'll tell you that. Because I think they want to start Justin Fields, and I think they're in a weird spot all of a sudden now with Russ. But you can take a look at it. Yeah, you can take a look, right? That is where you are, though, you are the Miami Dolphins. You are now without Tua Tagovailoa for 4 weeks, but you are still alive. Their conference price has dropped, but it is not dropped to the seller. 20-1, still in front of teams like the Chargers and Steelers who are sitting there at 2-0. So this team, especially because they were able to grab that victory, in Week 1 against Jacksonville, they still have hope. They still have expectations that they can make the postseason, though that is a plus number now, plus 180. The Dolphins are now a minus 230 favorite to miss the playoffs in this 2024 season. We'll see how they perform in Seattle, which, again, is going to be a really big game. I know I didn't get to your baseball yet. We will get to your baseball, I promise you. We have big wild card games with the Nationals and the Mets. We have the Diamondbacks playing in division up against the Rockies. The Braves are on the road against the Cincinnati Reds. We will get to it all. But let's get a great slate of WNBA action on card next with Coach James Young. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoff.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, we're back with you here on SportsGrid on a Tuesday. We get to talk some hoops. Coach James Young in the mix with us. JY, how we feeling?
K-Dub, we're at the final home stretch, right? 2 days of WNBA games. A lot of things can be decided. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and even some of the stuff with the lottery. So a lot of interesting stuff in the W, Kevin. A lot of basketball left.
Certainly so, JY. Let's get to these games then here tonight. They'll tip at 7 o'clock. The Connecticut Sun at home are a slight dog that have now flipped to a favorite against the Lynx here. Total 153.5. I'm on Alyssa Thomas, 10-plus points. Great bounce-back spot for her. What are you on tonight?
I'm on the Minnesota Lynx, and I'll be honest with you right now, Kevin. The way they dismantled New York, and think of this, folks, I think the Liberty outscored by 10 in the fourth quarter to lose by 9. So this team's playing really good basketball. Kevin and I have been on this team since the beginning of the year. I like the Minnesota Lynx on the money line to get the job done tonight. They play ferocious defense. And if you're looking at something else, I would maybe look at that under. If you look at these two teams, they're solid defensively. Last game, I think, got to 151, if I'm not mistaken. I know the earlier game was a really high-scoring game, 83-82. A lot to play for. Also, the 2-3 seed, that would be home court. And also, to me, we talked about this, staying away possibly from the Indiana Fever. Another play. Maybe look at the under in the game tonight.
All right, looking under there possibly on the Minnesota Lynx. The Mystics are going to be hosting the Liberty as double-digit dogs. Washington, a part of that race at the bottom, JY, with the dream in the sky. We'll get to their game next. But can Washington pull off an upset against New York?
I don't think pull off an upset, but if you look at it, Kevin, the Liberty have only won the games, I think, this year by 5, by 11, and I think by 8. So they have not covered the spread in any of the 3 games. If you want to take a look at that, I may look at something like the team total over for the New York Liberty. Bounce back spot, bad performance, scoring over only 79 points against the Minnesota Lynx. But I can't lay these points against the New York Liberty. We know them at home. They're not great against the number, but also Washington has played them tough. Mike Thiebel's done a great job after starting the season 0-12.
We'll certainly see if they can pull that upset off. No action in that game for me, but I am going to be betting Dream Sky tonight, JY. I took Chicago plus the 9 at minus 108. I know they are struggling with all of their injuries. Angel Reese shut down, but I think that this number is a little bit too tall. This is a Sky team that went to Minnesota catching 12.5, and now the Dream here are only laying 3 less points than that. I think there's a far bigger gap here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm buying in on Chicago tonight, catching 9. What about you?
I am selling the Sky, and I've been selling the Sky ever since Angel Reese went down. They have not covered their last 3 games. I know they were relatively close games, but I do look at this situation tonight as the Atlanta Dream. It's pretty important, folks. Do know that Atlanta Dream, their pick goes to the Mystics. That is one thing they don't want. They need to get into the playoffs. They've been way better since Ryan Howard obviously has come back. Yes, they've dropped some games as of late, but they won their last one. I like the Atlanta Dream minus the points. I think they find a way to get it done. They need to get into the playoffs.
I think that is fair, but again, big number. I'm not sure Chicago lays down, JY, so I'm on the other side to you tonight. We got a little head-to-head building there, but those happen, right? And again, I can't wait to get these WNBA playoffs underway as well. A lot of teams, just 2 games left here for this season. Seattle and Vegas, Coach. My best bet probably will come from this game tonight. I'll let you bat lead off here, though. An 8.5 point spread with Vegas on the road. Total's 163.
Well, we keep waiting. We keep waiting for this Vegas Aces team to get going. And maybe we're seeing it. They've covered 2 of the last 3 games. I think there's something like, 6-2 against the spread their last 8. Going against a Seattle team that's really not playing well. Haven't covered the last 3 games against the spread. And you look at the WNBA standings, K-Dub, with the fact that it's a 1-game difference. This is home court. This is 4-5. So this is a big game here for the Las Vegas Aces. I got to feel it, K-Dub. This may be the time. We've been waiting. Do they turn it on? Seattle has not been great as of late. They've been better. The Aces, they got the spread. Give me the Aces minus the points on the road.
What we have here for Seattle is they are missing 2 of their starting 5, and Ezzie and Jewel Lloyd tonight in this basketball game. It's why you have this climbing spread here But for the Storm, it creates opportunity for Gabby Williams. Give me her over 13.5 points. The last game out was the first time that both Jewel Lloyd and Ezzie missed a game. They each missed that same game. And we saw a season-high field goal attempts for Gabby Williams, scoring 22 points on 15 field goal attempts in what is still a small sample size, but in the 3 games that she's played for Seattle with double-digit field goal attempts, she has scored at least 17 points in all of those games. Without Jewel Lloyd here, step-up spot at home. Give me Gabby Williams over 13.5 points. That juice is climbing, sitting now at minus 118. Last game on the slate, Coach. It's the Sparks at home against the Phoenix Mercury here. No Kalia Copper, keeping this a short number on the Mercury on the road. What do you see?
I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but, like, shouldn't the play be Phoenix? I mean, they still have something to play for, maybe trying to get to that 6 seed. See, Kevin, I have this belief that you don't want to be 7. You don't want to play Minnesota because I think they're playing that well. So there's something to play for this Phoenix Mercury team. When you look at the Sparks, Kevin, they have been in an absolute nose-up. I know they covered the last 2 games, but those are big spreads that they covered. They have lost a boatload of games. I think 7 straight games in a row. I'll keep it clean and simple. I'm going to take the Phoenix Mercury on a money line tonight.
All right, loving some Phoenix Mercury here. JY, tomorrow, let me just ask you, the league is going to be off, but I know on Thursday we get Caitlin Clark for what I believe will be her regular season finale. Any expectations?
Cinema. Pure cinema. And she's been fantastic. Right. And Kevin, wait, listen, if Caitlin Clark does not finish second in the MVP voting, I'm coming for people's necks. I don't care about Collier. I don't care about Stewie. I don't care about Anescu. Caitlin Clark better be second in MVP voting.
She won't be second, and she shouldn't be second. Talk to you in a week, JY. We're back with you right here, Game Time Decision.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of a week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoff.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was clicking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Game Time Decisions live with you here on a Tuesday night. Coming up in about 10 minutes, it's Baltimore and San Francisco. Orioles home dog going up against Blake Snell and the Giants. Got to tell you, I've been getting some troubling statistics sent my way as an Orioles World Series ticket holder. This team was plus 650 about 2 weeks ago. They're now 9-1 to win the World Series. The Yankees are much shorter, plus 490, and the Astros have also jumped the Baltimore Orioles. And it has been a really ugly second half for the O's. If you look post-All-Star break, Anthony Santander's continued to hit a ton of home runs. Gunny slowed down. Adley Rutschman, I don't know what's going on with that guy. I mean, there was a point in time where his batting average was beautiful. His season was exciting. He's hitting 207 post-All-Star break. We've not seen a Jackson Holiday breakout. Colton Cowser, I know he's in this Rookie of the Year race, but he's not been great. I mean, this team is not throwing out really anyone that's been able to get to about a 300 batting average in the second half of this season, and it's a little ironic seeing them go against Blake Snell tonight and be home dogs, considering I was desperately hoping that they would go out and try and bring in Blake Snell at the trade deadline, and they decided to pass on that. I would lean towards the Orioles. I would lean that direction, but I can't necessarily tell you I love that for that team in this game here. I just feel like it's maybe a spot they can get the job done. The Cincinnati Reds are up against the Atlanta Braves, and there's kind of some double futures interest here. 11 games left for Cincinnati. I need them to win 6 out of the 11, actually, for a win total over bet that was placed at the All-Star break. But that would then come at the expense of an Atlanta Braves future where I placed them to win the National League. And for Atlanta, I will say, look, I'm not rooting to lose my bet, but I am not as tied to that ticket as, say, I am the Orioles World Series wager, because Atlanta, I placed that bet with the thought that they would not be in the situation they are, where we do not know if they'll actually make the playoffs. And that, for me, that fact changing, I think, due to a lot of their injuries, has left me less tied to whether they get in or not because of how little confidence I feel I have in this team if they do get in. I know it's baseball, it's the wild card, anything can happen, but I don't have the level of confidence that I thought I would on Atlanta. A game back of the New York Mets, 2 games back of the Arizona Diamondbacks. If you look at tonight's slate, all currently listed as favorites to win their games. The Braves right now minus 142 on the road against the Reds. The New York Mets minus 166 at home against the Washington Nationals. And the shortest of the bunch is going to be Jordan Montgomery with the Arizona Diamondbacks going to Coors Field tonight at a minus 136 price. I do think that is kind of one of, and I know for a lot of you, I'm sure I know myself, the ebbs and flows of following this baseball season with the dominance that football takes over everything. I can't tell you I know the baseball results every single day. I try and keep my tabs on it. But one thing that kind of certainly caught my interest was Arizona, who looked like they were going to extend and, be safe with this wild card race. They are not. Not at all. This team is the Padres did that. They've won 4 in a row. They look fine. Now, San Diego, right, in terms of this race here for that back-end spot. But they do have a tough series coming up with the Houston Astros. Quickly, in the American League, Minnesota's now been really struggling. There's kind of been a lot of struggling going on, right? It's allowed the Guardians to run away with that division. But what you have all of a sudden is the Detroit Tigers knocking on the door and the Mariners, both 2 games back of the Minnesota Twins in the loss column. And the Detroit Tigers and the Seattle Mariners, 73 losses to 71 for Minnesota. That American League wildcard race could certainly heat up as well. We are running up against the break here, though.
what we're going to do is we're going to get Joe Madden in the mix. I know she's got a loaded baseball card here on a Tuesday night. We bring that to you on the other side of this quick commercial break on SportsGrid. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
There's extra enthusiasm in the back, and I can only chalk that up to us getting ready to really talk baseball for the first time in a week on this show, especially because the biggest national supporter I know on air in Joe Madden is here. Joe, great to talk to you. How do we feel about a loaded Tuesday slate?
I'm feeling pretty good. At least you didn't call me the biggest Chicago White Sox supporter, so I'll take the biggest national supporter, that's for sure.
No. Yeah, you are all about the Nationals and you're anti-LA. Some are calling it LA Chargers. I will ask you about that, Joe, but let's get to Orioles-Giants first. Blake Snell gets the start, listed as a road favorite. What do you like in this game tonight?
Yeah, this is an interesting one because Blake Snell, he has such a high walk rate, but his ability to get those strikeouts on the board is absolutely phenomenal. Now, when we look at the Baltimore Orioles, they have been striking out at a higher rate here versus lefties over the last month. So I do think Blake Snell can stay in this game long enough. I don't want to touch his strikeout prop because we know you have to hit that so high and you're still laying juice. So I'm going to take Blake Snell over 17 and a half outs. I just don't think, other than a couple of the big bats here for the Baltimore Orioles, that anyone's really going to hit off of him hard enough to keep him out of this game. So I'm taking him over the 17 and a half outs. That's coming in at minus 114. But I do think between Snell and Suarez, we do have a pitching duel in this one. I think the under 7.5 is a live number that you got to jump on, because at minus 115, under 7.5, I think we struggle to even hit 5 runs in this game, Kevin.
All right, so looking for an under in Baltimore with Blake Snell on the mound. That number growing even a little bit on the Giants as that one gets closer. Joe, let me ask you about this Twins-Guardians game that we've got coming up here. Again, it looks like Cleveland's going to be able to run and hide with this division. They are listed favorites tonight here against Zebby Matthews and Minnesota.
What do you like in this one?
You know, you look at the pitching matchup here, and this is the opposite to the last game. I think both of these pitchers are going to be giving up the runs tonight. You look at Matthews, his ERA is over 7, and Williams coming in with an ERA of 5.24. I don't trust either pitcher to limit the lineups. Now, we know the Cleveland Guardians won yesterday in a 4-3 style game, keeping us under today's total, but I'm expecting a lot more runs in this one, and I expect them to start right in that first inning. I'm looking at the Yurfie, the yes runs in the first inning, Kevin. That's coming in at plus 100. And in the first 5 innings, the over 4.5 at minus 115. I'm going to hit on as well. We know the Cleveland Guardians have a strong bullpen. So if Williams goes out of this game early, I want to make sure we're on the right side of this over, because I could see those runs coming early in this game and then slowing off towards the end, and I don't want to sweat it out. So give me the first 5 over 4.5, Kevin.
All right, early juice in that game. Joe, what about the Reds and the Braves here? Atlanta on the road, positioned as a favorite with Holmes. Any advantages you're seeing in this one?
Yeah, you know, you look at the Reds and they're coming here off being on the road. They were 10 games on the road. They went 5-5. And normally this is a spot I like to fade teams, but you look at Cincinnati and how dominant they have been over the Atlanta Braves this season. And I can't not look at them here as a home dog. We're getting great plus money on the Cincinnati Reds at plus 116. And we look at them 3-0 over this season versus the Atlanta Braves. And you see how much they outscored them 14-5, Kevin. I just can't look away from the Cincinnati Reds in this one, but I also think you got to look at this one to that over. That total sitting at 8.5 at minus 122 to the over. I'm expecting runs out of both of these teams. I think Williamson will get hit at some point in this game, but I think the Reds can give him enough run support, even though they're here off a road trip. This is the Atlanta Braves starting off a 6-game road trip as well. So I think the Reds can get it done.
Now, it looks to me, Joe, just kind of seeing some of the action here. Dodgers, Marlins, game of the day for you. Darren, the last name, I can't believe how much it beats me up despite being 100% Irish, but it does. So I'm going to leave it at that. One of the worst pitchers going in the league. And against this Dodgers lineup, it looks like you're ready to tee off here. How are you betting the game between the Marlins and the Dodgers tonight?
You got to think both of these offenses are going to tee off, right? You look at Bobby Miller coming out here for the LA Dodgers. And Kevin, I could not sit here and take the Dodgers laying 1.5, let alone straight up on that money line, even if we were getting minus 140, because Bobby Miller has been awful, especially on the road. 7 starts on the road. That ERA is 11.39 with a 2.17 whip. He's not a bet on for me, especially on the road. At home, he has had some great matchups. Versus the Miami Marlins, though, you've got to wonder, is this team going to be able to hit off of him and capitalize on his mistakes out there? I'm just going to look at this one for both of these pitchers to struggle. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name either, Kevin, because I do the exact same thing when I try to do it. But I'm looking at the Dodgers. You could look at their team total over 5.5. I could see them getting 6 runs. It's a lot, but this total is sitting at 11.5. So over the 5.5 is minus 115. The Yurfie, I think, is in play. It's minus 125. Their yes runs in the first inning. And then I would look at that first inning over 1.5 runs. I expect the offense here, the Dodgers, to go up to bat here versus this pitcher and just tee right off of him right away. If you take the over 1.5 in the first inning, it's coming in at plus 205. It's something I love betting for the LA Dodgers. We know the top of the lineup is so phenomenally strong. And then if I'm looking here, who I think can get those runs on the board, I've got to go with Freddie Freeman for the home run. He's coming in at plus 430. He has 22 home runs, 87 RBIs on the season. And then on the other side, because you have to look at someone from Miami to be able to get those home runs, Jake Berger coming in here for the home run at plus 500. He's got 25 home runs on the season and 62 RBIs. And I do think he should be able to hit Bobby Miller here. You can't trust Bobby Miller. So whoever you're liking for Miami, for me, it's Jake Berger. But whoever you are liking, I definitely would look for them to tee up that home run for you tonight, Kevin.
You know, it's funny because this game would have been the perfect Dinger Tuesday game. Who wouldn't have been involved with the way this one looks? All lines will continue to be on Shohei Ohtani. 47 home runs, 48 stolen bases. If you look, though, the series against Atlanta, 4 games set, no home runs, no steals for Ohtani there.
You just imagine that changes in this series with Miami. I'm sure some people look to approach with same-game parlays at times, with a home run and a stolen base in the same game for Shohei. Very well could happen here with this one. Let me just quickly check, Joe, because the only other game I think that'll get on the road within the 7 o'clock window is Tampa Bay and Boston. Is that a game you're involved with at all tonight here? Tampa's really been struggling, which is good for a win total under I placed at the All-Star break. So I'm just looking for them to continue to lose. Anything you're looking for?
Yeah, I think you have to look at the Boston Red Sox here with Nick Pivetta coming out. You look at this offense. This offense has been so strong, Kevin. The only problem is you're laying a lot of juice with the Boston Red Sox here on the road, which is something I don't absolutely love doing. But I do think the Tampa Bay Rays, this team is just down and out right now, and I can't see them pulling off the win even here at home.
It's going to be, again, for the Boston Red Sox, one of these seasons where I do think they will pick their heads up and feel like they really blew an opportunity. You know, we look at these wild card races on a night like this, and it is a shame. What do I really care? I'm a Yankee fan, but I'm just calling it like I see it. It is a shame we are not breaking down the Red Sox in this race. At 4 games back with Seattle and Detroit in front of them to try to contend with that final spot that Minnesota holds right now. The Red Sox this season, their woes at Fenway Park, which lasted all year. Just hearing kind of the breakdown from Joe, like Nick Pivetta is a guy who, early season we thought could be a real force. Picked up an injury, really hasn't been the same. We know the offense has juice. The pitching was just too up and down, and it's going to result in what is a rarity, though, for Boston recently. Very few middle seasons for the Red Sox, usually finishing first or worse in the American League East. This season looks like they'll finish dead middle with a 75-75 record. I guess it would be appropriate. We are coming up against the break, though. Joe Madden's going to stick around. We're going to go through the rest of the baseball slate, any picks that she has, and I will check in on the Chargers. Any love? Is it real? A trip to Pittsburgh's on deck. We'll break that down. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Back in here on Game Time Decisions. Baseball board's already lighting up. Leadoff home run for the Atlanta Braves and Michael Harris. Same situation in Baltimore for the Giants, though. Yastrzemski puts one out of the park there for a leadoff home run as well. Your fee bettors has already seen 2 go through the door. Dodgers go 3 up, 3 down. Is that real? Wow. Okay. We'll keep eyes on that game, though. We'll keep eyes on it. It's still early in that one. Joe, let's get to any of the other action that you have here on tonight's card. It includes a game between the Athletics and the Cubs, where the Chicago Cubs right now are around a minus 160 favorite in this game. What are you looking for here?
It's a lot of juice to lay on the Chicago Cubs, right, Kevin? I don't want to get there with it. And you look at the Oakland A's, this team actually has been so strong on the road, getting those runs on the board over the last 30 days. I expect some runs to come out of them. Jordan Wicks getting the start here for the Chicago Cubs. We look at him, he allowed 11 runs on 17 hits in his last 13 innings. So I do think the A's can come in here and help push us over this total. This total is at 8.5 at plus 100 to the over, and that's exactly where I'm going. Spence coming out here for the Oakland A's. You know he's going to allow those runs to come in as well. He allows a ton of home runs on the road. When you look at his stats, 17 home runs allowed this season, 11 of those were on the road. So if you're looking at anyone for the Chicago Cubs to get those home runs on the board tonight, would be the night against Spence. I looked over that, Kevin, and I just couldn't pick someone, and I already loaded up on a couple other home runs. So just give me the over 8.5. I don't trust either of these bullpens either. So look for offense in tonight's matchup.
I am looking for one more Seiya Suzuki home run for a season-long wager. I like to believe that there's a few of you out there who, and again, the football madness every night, check the Cubs box score just to see if Seiya Suzuki went deep. We need one more over 20.5. I think he can get there. I have confidence. I have faith. Joe, you mentioned the White Sox earlier. You're betting the White Sox the game tonight, which... I mean, why not? I mean, get them in while you still can, right? I mean, 115 losses for this team. They're red hot, though. They've won 3 in a row. I mean, you know, they're just running out of time. This team, maybe they can make a postseason push if we had a 700-game season. What do you think here with the Angels and the White Sox?
I love how you just brought that in, Kevin. Yeah, they're unstoppable. 3 in a row. The Chicago White Sox have every opportunity of winning this one tonight. They actually do have an opportunity of winning versus the LA Angels. LA Angels are not a team that I have any faith in either. Look at them, 60-90 on the season. And I do think Chicago here with Davis Martin have the pitching edge in this one. He's got a 4.14 ERA. I think he can get his strikeouts on the board. That strikeout number coming in at 5.5 at plus 124 to the over. You look here at the LA Angels, and this is a team that we've gone and we faded against pitchers all season long, Kevin. They're striking out a rate at 26.6%. Martin Davis here, he's normally not a high strikeout pitcher, but I do think he can get 6 on the board. He was able to get 6 strikeouts 3 outings ago versus the New York Mets. So I do think here versus the LA Angels that do strike out a ton, we should be able to get that. And because I think he's going to come out nice and strong versus the Angels lineup here, over 15.5 outs I'm going to play as well. That's coming in at plus 142. If you're looking to put a play on the Chicago White Sox, I would look at those first 5 innings while Martin is in. After that, I would probably stay off them for the full game because we know the Angels could get back into it, Kevin.
Joe, what about a big game between the Padres and the Astros here? Hunter Brown gets the baseball, but he's a dog with Michael King going for the Padres in this one. Houston has, once again, found themselves top of the American League West. They always find a way. The Padres, a playoff team, look very, very likely as well. What do you want to bet in this game?
This one was really interesting when I start breaking it down because you look at both of these pitchers between Hunter Brown and Michael King, and both are phenomenally strong. But I do think we look at the lineups here, and I think we're going to get the runs. Now, the books aren't thinking, so we're seeing that total was at 7. It bumped up to 7.5, the over 7.5 at plus 100. Kevin, but that's where I have to go with this one. I expect one of these teams to hit 5 runs and the other one to put up 3. That gives us a total of 8, pushing us over this total of 7.5. I think it's going to be a sweat in this game because both of these pitchers are strong, but these lineups versus righties have been hitting them nice and hard. So I think we'll get the runs. You also look at the San Diego Padres, that bullpen is really taxed. So I think King's going to probably stay in this lineup. And then when he gets out of there, you're going to see those hits coming here on the bullpen of the Padres. So give me the over 7.5. I'm going to be holding my breath though, Kevin, because I don't think we probably get the runs until, that 4th inning.
Last baseball pick, Joe, maybe the biggest game on the board tonight. It's sneaky Yankees-Mariners. Louis Heel with a chance to make a statement here in that American League Rookie of the Year race. Any juice for you in this one?
This is a major statement in this game, right? You have both of these pitchers coming out phenomenally strong. Brian Wu has looked just elite at home. And I do think under the lights tonight, you're going to see both of these pitchers excel. I was trying to bet the Nerfy in this one, Kevin, but you can't. Well, you could if you want to throw it into maybe a parlay. It's minus 148 for the no runs in the first inning. I would even look at this one to be super low scoring all the way for this whole game. I think the best bet, though, is to look at the first 5 innings and take it to the under. The under in the first 5 innings, I believe, is sitting at 3.5. And then I've got to hit the Seattle Mariners on the money line in the first 5. It's coming in at minus 106. I do think here with Brian Wu getting the start, the Seattle Mariners can pull out the win in the first inning. So that's where I'm going. I know it's scary versus the Yankees.
All right, Joe, before we let you get out of here, coming up, we're going to be talking 2-0 teams. That includes the LA Chargers. Do you think at this point in time they will be a playoff team?
Yes. Yeah, I do. And I actually didn't have as much faith in the Chargers as I thought I was going to after last week's game. I am sold on this team. And yes, Justin Herbert is not in the kind of scheme that I would have loved to have seen him in, but we did see a couple of deeper passes. They're going to be a run-first style team. It's working and they're winning. So, yeah, I've changed my ways. Give me the Chargers to make the playoffs this season. So, huge test this weekend, though, versus the Steelers defense.
There are 2-0 teams. We will talk about what's real and what is not from that 2-0 group. Great stuff from Joe Madden. We're back on SportsGrid after this quick break.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoff.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was Lincoln! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, before we get to the NFL, quickly, 2 basketball updates. The NBA released the City Edition jerseys. They're basically almost all garbage. I do not know how we keep doing this. And add Kennedy Carter to the list of players out tonight for the Chicago Sky. They're up to an 11-point dog. I bet them at 9. I'm not going in again. If you made me bet it, I would still take Chicago, though. I think it's a lot of points for Atlanta to cover, despite the fact that they are very, very injured. 3-0 early. Atlanta leads. Miami scores in the bottom of the first, so now you are sitting at 3-1 to the Yerfie to open up that baseball board. I mentioned 2-0. 9 teams, 5 in the AFC, 4 in the NFC so far that have started 2-0. What's real? What's not? Who are we buying? Who are we selling? Well, we have some 2-0 head-to-heads in week number 3. The Chargers and the Steelers. Each will show up to that game sitting at 2-0. And they are both right now 24-1 to win the AFC. I've not placed a bet for this game. I'll wait until, probably Saturday night. That's, usually when I like to get involved. I will say, I think if you are choosing between the Chargers and the Steelers, big picture, it is easily LA. An undeniable higher ceiling due to having Justin Herbert at quarterback. Pittsburgh has a better defense. I think the Chargers can have a good defense, though. I like Jesse Minter. I think they've got weaponry. There's a reason that I said maybe my favorite preseason bet was Chargers-Chiefs to finish 1-2 in any order at the top of the AFC West. The Chargers, I likely will be on in that game. I'd love to get a field goal. I don't think I'll be getting that field goal because that 2.5 number is down to 1.5. We know how those things move. We have a out-of-conference battle between Houston and Minnesota. Both teams are 2-0. Houston goes to Minnesota. They're a 2.5-point favorite. I mentioned the Week 1 victory that we saw for the Minnesota Vikings. And despite it being against the Giants, it was a bit of a perception changer, where perhaps I was not valuing Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, their head coach and defensive coordinator, enough. Well, they then put it forward in week number 2 by beating the San Francisco 49ers 23-17. But I don't think Minnesota is 3-0 good. I think Houston is. DJ Stroud's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. The offensive weaponry is real, and the defense is getting better in year number 2 under DeMeco Ryans. Eric Stingley, Will Anderson, they have breakout players on that roster. Added Danielle Hunter as well. Add in Justin Jefferson's status for this game, and this is one I would be, again, I'm not as worried about it, but I would be looking to bet this game on Houston. If it goes to a flat 3, I may be more hesitant. I'll tell you, though, even if Justin Jefferson plays, I am looking Houston in this football game. Big picture, you can still see a big difference in their prices. To win the AFC, the Texans are now a 5-1 number, tied with the Buffalo Bills for the second choice. The Minnesota Vikings to win the NFC are currently checking in at 16-1, tied with Tampa Bay for the 9th best price right now in that NFC market. In the NFC, Minnesota is one of 4 2-0 teams. Seattle, Tampa, and New Orleans join them. And my biggest takeaway from that is it reinforcing what a disaster last night was for the Philadelphia Eagles. The fact that none of the 2-0 teams have cracked into the top 4 gives you an idea of where the preseason perception were for those teams. Now, one of these teams almost assuredly will be 3-0, if not 2 of the 4. 3 of them are favorites in their football games. But if you are Philadelphia, again, the Niners and the Lions and the Cowboys, I'm sure everybody feels like they could have, should have, would have won their games. The Eagles needed 3 yards. And then they got the football back with 34 seconds. I mean, my gosh. I don't like talking about that game. I'm so angry about it. I really am. I really am. It was right there in front of them. And if they sat there 2-0, they maybe could maybe be conference favorites. Instead, they were jumped by the Lions because that's how bad that game was. And that game also was the final gut punch to anybody who plays in Survivor contests. What a bloodbath these two was. Speaking of contests, we got Brady Cannon stopping by next here on SportsGrid. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking, but he had that program was already going there.
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes!
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Back in here on SportsGrid, it is Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Early returns on the baseball board is tons of runs. Right now we've got 2 from the Marlins, 3-1 Atlanta leading Cincinnati, and the Giants are looking for more against Baltimore. We'll keep tabs on that. But on this Tuesday, we cannot shift our focus too far still from football and help us try and figure out what in the world's been going on and what we could see coming up next. That's going to be Brady Cannon. Brady, excited to talk to you here on a Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to be back with you, Kevin. And it indeed has been a wacky couple weeks to kick off the 2024 NFL season. And nobody can vouch for that more so than anybody participating in a survivor pool around the country. Circa Survivor out here in Las Vegas broke a record for the quickest and largest rate of elimination in the history of their existence. I believe this is the 5th or 6th year that they've had Circa Survivor. And in week 2, you've already got over 72% of the field is out.
It is, I think that answers what was going to be my question of, have you seen anything like this in terms of your time playing Survivors? I guess the literal answer is no. I guess my question to you, Brady, for anybody that might still be in Survivor, how do you attempt to dance around the landmines, if you're still in it? I mean, it's one of those things. I'm sure many people went into last night's game going, man, it's Bloodbath Sunday. Thank gosh I picked Philly. And that game that ended up being maybe the most gut-wrenching loss of all those big favorites. If you're still in Survivor, what is the approach moving forward?
You got to feel that if you've made it this far, you're pretty darn lucky. and maybe you've avoided those landmines for at least a minute. Maybe you've got a couple weeks of free play here, possibly.
Right.
It's just amazing. I have to figure that everybody that was everybody that is still alive in Circa Survivor, the most of them anyway, have to be people that are dealing with multiple entries, because in week 2, you look at the teams, the 49ers lost, the Dallas Cowboys lost, the Philadelphia Eagles lost, the Detroit Lions lost, the Baltimore Ravens lost. Those are 5, 6, 7, 8 point favorites, what have you, that all lost outright. Okay, the 2 teams that you would have selected would have been the Jets and the Chargers, who were both road favorites. That's a dicey situation in Circa Survivor. The reason that you may have not been on the Texans, and some people were, is because in the Circa version of the contest, Christmas Day is its own separate week where you have to pick one of those 3 games. And on Christmas Day this year, the Texans are hosting the Ravens. So, a lot of people might have been wanting to save both of those teams, at least the home team Texans, for Christmas Day. Now, the Chiefs play on Christmas Day as well at Pittsburgh, so I'm sure some people are saving the Chiefs and maybe just figured, I'm definitely going Chiefs on that day, and I don't care who else I have in pocket. But the point is, you talk about dancing around. I mean, how do you dance around and land on the Chargers or the Jets as road favorites in week 2, figuring you're saving the Texans for Christmas? Pretty wild. I mean, do you take the Cardinals as a 1-point favorite over the Rams? Do you take the Commanders as 1-point favorites over the Giants? It's really, like I say, I have to believe that the remaining 3,877 entries were folks that had multiple entries.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Brady, and I think a lot of people probably play, in some, family-friendly pools and things like that. Sometimes we kind of can correlate it to our sides, and we're going to talk a lot of sides in a moment here. The 3 sides that I was, working with on Sunday, and I happened to hit all 3, which was nice, but it was Tampa, New England, and Arizona. Those aren't Survivor picks. It's a 7.5-point dog, a 3.5-point dog in a pick'em game. Those are not Survivor picks.
Let's see. Who 2 out of 3 won outright, right? Tampa won outright.
Yeah, they did, which is crazy. But again, I would have never even considered them. Really, I could. That's just not how you play Survivor in my mind. And I think what's interesting is, there's a lot of upsets. But the biggest favorite in week 1 was Cincinnati, outright lose. Yeah. The biggest favorite in week 2 was Baltimore, and they lose outright. So now what I'm really curious of, and this can be relative to Survivor, but also your money line players, right, spread bettors. You have 2 7.5-point favorites right now for week number 3, which would be the Cincinnati Bengals hosting Washington and the Los Angeles Rams catching 7.5 with the Niners as those 7.5-point favorites, Brady. And I'm now fascinated to see if we get a 3rd straight week where the biggest favorite on the board goes down outright.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of them did. I made the number in the 49er game 5. I'm surprised to see them laying a full touchdown, and now it opened at 7, and now a half point has been added on top of that. So, and that's a pretty good move. I mean, that tells you they're not betting the dog early for sure. When it goes from 7 to 7.5, you've got no Deebo Samuel for this game. You still have no Christian McCaffrey for this game. And I know the Rams are just absolutely decimated. No Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua. The offensive line is beaten up. I mean, I don't know who they have. And certainly I factored that into, when I was making this number, but I thought it would be 5. This is something to think about too. It's in Los Angeles, but typically in the history of this matchup, since the Rams went to SoFi, there are more 49er fans that show up in Los Angeles than Ram fans. I think the Niners will have a slight, possibly home field advantage in this game. They've owned, Kyle Shanahan has owned Sean McVay in this matchup. And they're good friends, too. And they coach together with Washington under Mike Shanahan. So I'm not sure why there's that discrepancy. But the Niners at more than a touchdown worries me a little bit. And then Cincinnati and the Commanders, I made that number 4.5. The Bengals were 8-point favorites. So the initial move here did come in on the Commanders, and I understand that. I think Jaden Daniels is very difficult to defend. And I also think Cincinnati, I think they get up for Kansas City. I think what the real Cincinnati team is somewhere between that week 1 awful performance and that week 2 good, solid performance. I think they're somewhere in between. They're not as good as we saw last week, and they're better than we saw in week 1. We know the Commanders' defense is an issue. But again, that offense is tough to defend. And no, I definitely wouldn't want to lay 8, and I wouldn't want to lay 7.5 either.
Yeah, I think early for me, if you made me take one of the favorites, I'd rather take Cincinnati than the not. I think I actually really like the Rams in that game. My selling point on Cincinnati would be what the Bucs did in week number 1. Now, again, this is not, this simple where that's how all these games are going to go. But, man, did Tampa steamroll Washington in that game. Tell me, Brady, how are you kind of finding some of the early side picks, of course, with all the contests? If I'm not mistaken, 5 a week. What are your early takeaways?
Well, I landed on 4 games, again, very early in the week, just 4 games that caught my eye. One of them you spoke about in the segment prior, the Chargers. The Chargers defense has been very good. Now, they've played relatively anemic offenses in the Raiders and the Panthers, but they're allowing the lowest amount of points in the league right now on defense through 2 weeks. And they're going to play another anemic offense in the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I think whoever's the underdog in that game is probably who you want to land on. That one caught my eye for sure. You talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All of a sudden, now they're a 7-point favorite. That seems a little aggressive to me. I made the number 4.5. Now, I know Denver hasn't been all that impressive, but they have faced 2 very good defenses out of the gate in the Seattle Seahawks and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And maybe Tampa Bay's a really good defense too. They held Washington in check. They obviously held Detroit in check. That's pretty impressive as well. And then the other 2 that caught my eye, again, just early here, the Eagles plus the points, and they are getting a full field goal now. I'm not yet sold on the Saints. And then the Panthers. The Panthers should be much better than they've been the first couple of weeks with the change at quarterback.
Brady, I'm going to ask you to stick around. I want to ask you about Carolina, and there's one other game I want to get your early thoughts on. We're live to hear Game Time Decisions on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, Game Time Decisions. We're here with Brady Cannon. We've got Tom Vecchio on deck, but I have two quick questions for Brady, and you hit on one of them that I wanted to get to. With Carolina going to Andy Dalton, how much would you be looking to upgrade Carolina on the simple fact that it is no longer Bryce Young back there and it's going to be Andy Dalton?
You know, it might be as much as 2 points, Kevin. I think from a point standpoint, it's hard for me to gauge right now. I definitely think it's an upgrade. I think you have obviously a more experienced veteran presence. But, you know, it's also a psychological thing for the rest of the team. You know, I think this is probably a motivational factor for them. You know, they can look at this as like, hey, we need to step up and you know, show up for our guy that we had been letting down that just got benched. They can also look at it like, hey, you know what? We're going to go out and prove that this wasn't our fault. And the guy that just got benched has been bringing us down for 2 years. So I think there's a lot of different mental approaches you can kind of try and handicap and how the Panthers are going to react. And on top of that, I think it's just a pure upgrade. You know, aside from any mental factors, it's a quantitative upgrade as well. You know, I think there's qualitative and quantitative reasons to think the Panthers will be better. And I made this game 4.5 in favor of the Raiders, and we're getting 5.5. So for me, right now, the Panthers would be a play. I'm torn to see if the market will land on the Panthers here, or if maybe being here in Las Vegas, the locals will be so excited with what happened. Hey, we just beat the Raiders, and they're going to run to the window and pound this number up to 6 or 6.5. So I'm in a holding pattern right now.
Yeah, it's a spot for me where I probably would have wanted to fade the Dalton move just because I think everything around Bryce is so bad, but it's not the right opponent. No way will I be laying 5.5 points with the Las Vegas Raiders after that win against the Baltimore Ravens. That's just not the kind of spot that I wanted to be in, and sometimes the schedule breaks that way. The other one I wanted to ask you about quickly, Brady, it was maybe the most surprising number, but maybe I'm off here. I was surprised to see Dallas a home dog to the Baltimore Ravens. What did you make when you saw that spread? Short, but still a dog.
Yeah, when I saw this matchup, I was like, boy, that's a tough one. I made the Ravens a 1.5 point favorite. And, you know, looking at this entire card, that may be candidate number 1, Exhibit A for the game I want no part of.
Interesting. It's early. I have time to figure some stuff out. I need to figure out some McCarthy and Dallas trends. I think I'm going to end up on Dallas. Now, Dallas could be bad because New Orleans rolled them, but I'm not a big believer in what I've seen from Baltimore early, Brady. Like, that loss to Vegas is very inexcusable. They had that game signed, sealed, and delivered.
And they're starting to make a habit of blowing games in the fourth quarter. Let's not forget they had a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, and we've seen them do that. I think it's 4 times that they've blown a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter in the last 5 seasons.
That is, and again, with how good Harbaugh is, that just 1 + 1 is not equal in 2.
I mean, that was my
Brady,
survivor pick, right, Kevin? And I just made it that simple. I said it's John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson against Antonio Pierce and Gardner Minshew. Enough said. Didn't work.
Same process, same result. Brady, appreciate it as always. We will absolutely be talking throughout this season. Best of luck this week in all the contests.
Thank you, sir.
All right, awesome as always from Brady Cannon. We got Tom Vecchio stepping up right here on deck. Tom, great to have you with us on a Tuesday. And I want to throw to you on this. Last night, what happened with the Philadelphia Eagles, for me, was unbelievably frustrating. I think the last time I was that angry at an Eagles regular season loss, maybe it was actually when they lost to Washington. I think it was their first loss of the year. Taylor Heineke with the knee, got a personal foul. Don't like Taylor Heineke. That was really frustrating for me. I'm wondering what you took away from the Eagles' loss to the Atlanta Falcons on Monday night.
Well, I heard some of that frustration from you when I was waiting to come on for the postgame show. At the end of the game, I was tuning into that. The game went almost exactly as I anticipated. I said on the pregame show last night with Casey, Dave, and Adam, I was like, the Eagles win, they don't cover, and the under hits. And it was almost as perfect as I would have scripted. I said it was a big Devonta Smith game. All the signs point to him having a big game because A.J. Brown was out, and we were almost there. And when it comes to the actual play calling of the Eagles, I don't know what is going on with them, and maybe they have some type of mental hurdle that they need to get over after the collapse last season, going back to the Super Bowl, this, that, the other thing. They need to find a way to go for the throat and just end games. That's what it needs to come down to, because there is a clear deficiency in the Sirianni game plan at a certain point that they need to fix. And if it's not that, then we can't have any trust. You should be taking teams in the second half, whatever it might be. That might be the adjustment when it comes to good teams or halfway decent teams against the Eagles.
Yeah, I think for me, the only thing that I'm unsure of is what specifically Sirianni got wrong. I don't know if he was I don't know if he deferred to a new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore and said, make your call.
Okay.
In which case, you're the head coach, get this right. Or if Sirianni said, Kellen, call your best pass. In which case, can't say that on air. Figure it out if you're Nick Sirianni. They 3 times on 3rd and 4 or less threw the football. Mm-hmm. In a game where Saquon Barkley was churning and burning and Jalen Hurts had it going as well on the ground. They were mistakes that were so obvious that in real time, for anybody that was with us on In-Game Live, I warned Donnie and Joe, because again, Tom, I know you've done a million shows. If you're kind of leading the conversation, you can't just go quiet. I said, boys, if they throw the ball, I'm just begging you, I'm going to need a minute, all right? And they helped me out there. I could not handle what was that disaster, but it does seem like you certainly had some picks right, the rhythm of the game right, which is, what a terrible game, Tom. Why did I even bring it up? Tom's going to stick around. Let me take it to you. Go ahead. Do you have any other quick takes on the game?
No, I think next week is a monumental game for their future and season-long futures for if you have a Saints ticket, an Eagles ticket. This is a huge, huge game next week, this coming week.
Yeah. I do not think you are wrong whatsoever. We'll talk a little week 3. We'll talk a little baseball as well. We've got Tom Vecchio sticking around here on a Tuesday night. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts, so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team back.
Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Game Time Decisions, we're back with Tom Vecchio. Tom, hook us up here, man. Major League Baseball board right now is about to get a few games going in 15 minutes time here. Royals, Tigers, Cubs, A's, Brewers, Phils, and then even Cardinals, Pirates at 7:45. What action are you looking for here on the Major League Baseball board that has not started just yet?
Yeah, let's go to a couple pitching props. I think they are, I don't want to say easier late in the season, but we kind of know what we're getting from them. So let's start off with Lance Lynn. Under 16.5 outs, it's sitting at -120. So 5 outs would be 15 outs, or 5 innings, I should say, would be 15 outs. 17 would be 5.2. So not a good pitcher overall. He's gone 5, and 6 innings in his last outing. He has an 8.6% walk rate. He has a 291 BABIP. He's just like not a pitcher that's going to be overly dominant on the mound. He gets hit around a little bit. The pitch count is driven up by that 8.6% walk rate. It's just not a spot that he's going to be going super deep into the game. So keeping it simple, Lance Lynn under. I just don't think he's a good pitcher. Then let's go to Cole Reagans, over 6.5 strikeouts. It's sitting at -136. This is a big time for the Royals. They are like on the verge of, I'm not going to say fully securing their wild card spot, but they have their ace on the mound. Let's trust him. He's going to go super deep in the game, 95 to 103 or so pitches. He has a 29.6% strikeout rate. The Tigers come with a 24.7% strikeout rate versus lefties. That is the 7th highest in the league. He has Cole Reagans has a 14.5% swinging strike rate, which is absolutely unbelievable. He's been over this mark in 4 straight. This is crunch time for the Royals to prove that they belong in the postseason with this great lineup that they have, of course, led by Bobby Witt. Trust their ace tonight. They're not going to pull him early over 6.5 strikeouts.
All right, so some juice there with Cole Reagan on the board. And then we got the Lance Lynn pick as well, Tom?
Yeah, Lance Lynn under 16.5 outs. I think that's just as simple as it gets. Not a pitcher I'm worried about going super deep into the game.
Yeah, look, fair enough. And again, for St. Louis, this season just hasn't materialized in the way that they were hoping. I know you have a Thursday look here, Tom, as well. That's going to be Thursday Night Football, Jets, Patriots here, 6.5 point spread, totals at 38.5. What already has your attention?
Garrett Wilson touchdown. Again, keeping it super simple. I would expect the under to actually hit in this game, so I'm not expecting a massive amount of points, but as I will say time and time again, I've said to Ben and Donnie for years at this point, I am of the belief that quarterbacks should try and keep their star wide receivers happy, and that's what we have with Garrett Wilson. So let's get him for a touchdown at +140. He leads the team with 17 targets. That's good for a 37.9% target share, which is unbelievable. It's not going to stay that high. Red zone target share is at 50%. It's tied for the team lead with Allen Lazard. I'm not expecting Lazard to play a massive role. We know he does have the connection with Aaron Rodgers, but Garrett Wilson, first home game for the Jets, get him his first touchdown of the season. We saw what DK Metcalf and Jackson Smith and Jigba did to the Patriots secondary last week. They both went for over 100 yards. I'm expecting the first big game of the season for Garrett Wilson, +140. There are boosts you can use out there. Slap a 50% boost on Garrett Wilson. I am absolutely on board with that. I may even take a little bit of sprinkle on Garrett Wilson. First touchdown of the game. Of course, discuss this all on Thursday on the pregame show.
Yeah, can I get your early read on the Braylon Allen usage? 2 touchdowns, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. Breece Hall is supposed to be one of the best running backs in the league. And I mean, Breece scored. He had 62 yards on the ground, 52 in the air. But Braylon Allen having 2 touchdowns in this game was not really supposed to be in the cards.
No, I think that is certainly an outlier of what we're going to be seeing. I would expect an 85-15, 80-20 kind of split between the two of them. I think Allen is a good talent. How much he actually gets involved on a game-by-game basis, I think is going to depend mostly on the game script. And I don't know, maybe Aaron Rodgers says like, "Hey, I want him out there more," and that's something we don't know about. Like, there's no number that we can point to, like, oh, he's going to be out there. If Rodgers likes him and he just wants him out there more, that might end up happening. So I'm intrigued by him. I think his numbers are going to be wildly inconsistent, where he could either smash them over, he's going to go for 60 combined yards, or there's some games he's going to end with 12 combined yards. It is a pure mystery to me right now.
Yeah, in week number 1, Breece Hall, 82% of the snaps. Braylon Allen, 18%. So pretty clean and obvious, right?
Yeah.
Last week, 72% Breece Hall, 35% Braylon Allen. I mean, they were on the field at the same time a few times, but Braylon Allen doubling the snap count all of a sudden there, Tom.
Right. I think it's more important to look at not necessarily his snap count, but probably his touches on the snap count, right? If he has like a high amount of touches when he's on the field, that'll be more indicative than the actual snap count. So that's something that's going to develop over the weeks as games come.
And just to clarify, I was using percentages there, not the raw number of snaps there, but the percentages there. Certainly stuff we'll be looking at, and I know, Tom, you'll have us covered on the Thursday night pregame show. Appreciate it. As always, another part of that pregame show, Dave Sharapan joins us here on SportsGrid next. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of the week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
Game Time Decisions. We're live on a Tuesday night. Update the baseball board. 4-1 Braves. Potentially going to get more in this inning. 3-0 San Fran over Baltimore. Marlins up 4-0 on L.A. Twins up 1-0. 2-0 early from Boston. Scoreless through 1. The Mets and the Nationals. Oh, wow.
What?
Oh, wow.
What happened?
Wow.
What? What'd I do?
Wow. Wow.
What?
Wow.
What happened?
Wow. Dave Sharapan's here.
What happened?
Now tell me, Dave. No. Now tell me, Dave. When was the last time you wore that type of attire for a team who's not in action? Tell me that. When was the last time you did something like that?
I
huh?
was told we're recapping Monday night. I told they
No,
said,
you weren't told that.
They said
No,
K
you
Dub
weren't.
wants to recap Monday night.
Yeah, no, I don't think that happened.
That's what I was
You know what
told.
upsets me maybe the most?
What?
I think what upsets me the most is how clean that stuff looks.
Oh, is it nice?
Yeah, I think that's what upsets me.
It's one of my all-time favorites. I swear. I think of William Andrews, Steve Bartkowski. For you old heads, those are the Falcons from the past. And then, of course, this is prime time, baby. It's nothing but 21. I mean, you got to be kidding me. It got the stuff on the sleeves, and I mean, I love it. I love it. I don't like it. I love it, and it does look pretty good. I didn't mean to wear it because they beat the Eagles. I just was told we got to recap Monday night. I couldn't wear the Eagles stuff. That stuff's put away at least till the weekend when they win. You know they're going to go down to the Saints and win, right? They're going to go win.
Flipping number.
Of course.
That look ahead was 2.5 Philly. I'm seeing now 2.5 New Orleans.
Yep.
I think the Saints are a tough read. You know, we talk about, the 2-0 teams around the league, Dave, right? And you try and figure out who are you buying, who are you selling.
Mm-hmm.
And what New Orleans did in week number 1 against Carolina, you look at, all right, Panthers are bad. Sometimes you can bulldoze a team, right? The snowball gets downhill. To do it again in Dallas.
Wow.
That's a different level, what we saw from the New Orleans Saints. I haven't figured out what I think of that game against Philadelphia because it's a good schedule spot for the Saints. Shorter week for Philly, traveling to New Orleans.
Yep.
I'm not positive that it's going to be the sell-high New Orleans spot. There will come a time when that's the case, but we're not paying through the nose for a Saints team that through 2 weeks has looked like the best team in the league.
I would have made this number regardless of what happened last night. We talked about it on the show last night. I said, how are the Eagles favored? I mean, even if they win tonight handily, they can't go to the Saints and be favored. The game's got to be pick at worst. Maybe Saints -1.5 and let them take the Eagles up if they want. Because they're looking to lay if you make them the dog, which they did. So that's fine. You're right. It may not be the buy point against them yet. But, man, they can't keep scoring these points like this. I mean, this is impressive, though. Like, they are all on the same page. You want to talk about teams, and you were talking about buying and selling and stuff. I mean, the 2-0 teams, there are a few. I'm buying them if I have to decide right now with you on a Tuesday, because they don't let me talk to you the rest of the week because our schedules don't align anymore. But that's okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's fine. But, yeah, I'm buying. On that list, I'm buying.
Saints are a buy. So who would be a sell? Let's pull that back up. On the 2-0 list right now, who feels like a sell for you?
That's pretty easy to me. For me, it's Seattle. I don't see it.
Ooh.
I don't see it. I really don't. That's one I'd look to fade. And, I mean, the Dolphins have everything against them this week. Everything. That number has already moved and keep moving. It's going to keep moving. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Dolphins. It doesn't matter. The book's going to need the Dolphins.
Yep.
And that's going to be, that's going to be a good value play. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's going to be one of those ones on Sunday that we're going to have money line, a little taste, and some puntos. Yeah. Puntos.
So, look, we're in line making, line guessing season. And everything played out on Thursday with Miami against Buffalo. And I'm not sure I'd even finished my drive home from work when I said, get me a 7. Get me a 7 in Seattle. That's all I want with Miami, right? Because, Seattle, who was 2-0, I actually like Seattle coming into the year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the extra time to prepare, Skylar Thompson could cover a touchdown. So I was coming into work yesterday. I saw that line was 5.5.
Yep.
By the time we were doing game time last night, I was with Joe Lisi. It was 6.5. I'm like a guy at the horse track, man. Get on that horse, man. Keep moving that thing. Keep moving that. Go, go, go. Get that thing to a 7. See that thing at a 4.5 today, Dave. Now, what's the story? Who found out what? Who came in with the big bags? Couple of them. 4.5, Dave. Where'd it go?
Yeah. They tell you when you're riding that horse, someone else comes in going the other way and say, hey, ride's over. Let's go.
Right.
Come on.
Yep.
Let's get that thing back to where it needs to be. Speaking of riding a horse, have you ever ridden a horse? That would be. We need video of this. Oh, baby.
No surprise there. Come on now.
I rode a horse young. Yeah, it took off. I didn't like it. Yeah, I got nervous. I got very scared. Yeah,
no, it's not from me. It's not from me. No. Stuff like no. That's not my bag.
Would you ride a sulky? I can get us in a race at the Meadowlands, or at Monmouth.
What's that?
A harness where we sit in the harness with a guy and we race.
You
odds.
Give me.
I think.
Oh, you want me to start racing?
Me and you.
I'll just say this.
What?
I'll give you this, all right? And then because then I want to ask about the 0-2 teams. SportsGrid race. I'm just saying I would beat my number. That's all I'm saying. Whatever you think my finishing position is, I would beat my number. That's all I'm saying. You're an easy, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. All right, let's worry about that Nats game. 0-2, Dave.
Yes,
0-2. 9 teams 0-2, just like we have 2-0.
Ooh.
Some big names in there. Ravens and Cincinnati are the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina right where they should be. Look at Daniel Jones. Oh, my gosh.
Who would you be buying from the 0-2 crowd?
Ooh, look at that. I think there's a couple buys on there. Baltimore, buy. Colts, buy.
Colts.
Colts is a buy for me. Yes. Look at the division. I think they're the second best team in the division. All right. Houston's a buy on the 2-0.
3 of the 4.
3 of the 4 are there.
Division.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I'm not buying Tennessee. They got a lot of problems. He keeps not taking care of that ball. I mean, they're in games and they're not winning. Listen, Cincinnati's going to be fine. No? Agree? They're a buy. They were blow for blow with Kansas City on Sunday, and that was a late flag. I mean, they believe they can go to Kansas City and win come January. And I believe they can too.
Right.
So I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah. I think Cincinnati's a buy. Baltimore is not for me. I'm going to be on – if I'm not on Dallas on Sunday, I'll be very surprised.
Wow.
Is what I'll say.
Okay.
If I'm not on Dallas on Sunday, I'll be very surprised. So we talk. You got to be ready to change perception. Jacksonville's a team that I thought needed a bounce or two to get up to another tier, and it's going the other way.
Going the wrong way.
And my boy Dougie P's on the hot seat, no doubt. And I'm not jumping in on numbers. Now, I'm not buying the Colts really either. You let Malik Willis beat you. Come on now.
Hey, he ran it all over.
We can't forgive that.
Malik's going again. Malik's
really,
going to win again this week. He's going to Tennessee and winning.
You know what's funny, though, with that? 6 for 41 is not running all over Malik Willis. Let me tell you. So, again, I try to look at the games, right? Try and look at the games and say, all right, what do I think it'll be? And I'm like, all right, if I can get this, I'll be in.
Yep.
I said, man, if I get the Titans +3, I got to bet them. I think 2.5 minus Tennessee. Cut it out. All right.
I mean,
what am I going to? I thought I was going to get +3 with Tennessee.
No way.
I was getting +3. No juice for Malik Willis, man. All right. We're here with Dave. We'll update that baseball board on the Sports Grid Tuesday.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of a week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on Sports Grid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, a lot happening here on a Tuesday night. Kevin Walsh and Dave Sharapan. He's wearing Falcons gear, and I'm going to be honest with you folks. It's not right. It's not right what he's doing, okay? If the Eagles lose a game, you want to come up in different gear, I can understand it, but after a loss like that, I don't like thinking about that. I was going wild last night. I really was. I'm going to be honest with you.
Why didn't they run the ball at the end, Kevin?
Stop. It was all game they didn't run the football.
I know.
It was all game they didn't run the football.
First quarter, run all the way down the field, get inside the 10, throw. Third, fourth. Second, third, and fourth down. Don't even kick the field goal in the first. Don't get me started. I didn't mean to bring it up. I'm sorry. Let it go.
All right. Who's Fraba for my anger management people? Baseball board. All right?
Yes.
I want to get some updates for people, but I want to know, because the one thing I can rely on you for more than anything is that while everybody's figuring out the football, you are still following everything happening in Major League Baseball.
Damn right.
So let me get an idea, Dave. What did you think heading into a big-time Tuesday slate?
So, Guardians, small favorite, like that. They're tied in the fourth. Padres, again, they keep making the same mistake. The odds makers just with the number. I mean, last night, super cheap, minus 110. Now it comes cheaper, and this might be the night the Astros get them. This is a big series. I mean, this is one of those ones that might be the preview. I'm watching these at night, trying to see like what the matchup prices should be, what the exacta prices should be, and who I would have favored. Houston, along with your Yankees, are the only two teams in the American League that I think would be favored over like 4 or 5 of the teams in the National League. That's it. I'm not putting Baltimore as a favorite. I'm definitely not putting those AL Central teams other than Cleveland, because I don't know if you've seen what Clase has done. It is a shame. He just ran out of time in the American League, Scooble's earned it. But my man, did you see his number? Yesterday, I almost sent you a text. Out here in the desert, they got him 15-1 to win that Cy Young. And I started laughing. I said, my man, Kevin, he said it. We talked about it back in May. I think we said 200-1 on him, 200-1 on Skeens. And then things aren't going to get to the window. But, man, they got good CLV.
Yeah. It's interesting, right? Like, I don't know if you'll ever, in a single season, see a 200-1 bet placed in both Cy Young markets.
Nope.
And both do what the Skeens and Clase numbers have done. The only thing I'll say is I am very interested in a world where we get an upset in one of these markets that the books are not prepared for. Because I think it's on the board. I think it's on the board. And the one that I've been talking about here on the show, Dave, and the numbers been coming crashing down, but it is with your boy Paul Skeens. I mean, look, Jackson Merrill has been good. But the only argument for Jackson Merrill over Paul Skeens is you're not giving the award to a pitcher. Just to kind of keep it simple.
Right.
That's the Merrill argument. Paul Skeens has a 2 ERA. Paul Skeens, quite frankly, should still be in the Cy Young race.
Right.
But for some reason, they ran him out of there. I mean, look, right now on FanDuel, there's only 2 markets up. Rookie of the Year, both leagues. So they kind of ran those guys out of there, whatever it is. All I'm saying is, if Clase won Cy Young, I wouldn't be stunned. Like, if I had Scooball, I would be annoyed that the market isn't open. I'd have to go find it and just grab something. I just think the voters could get weird this year, personally, Dave. I really do.
That would be a big surprise, but not completely out of the realm of possibility. I think it's at least it's a good talking point. And there will not be another year where this happens, because in both leagues, you don't miss by this much, or just you'll have lower prices on guys that could move. Now, this has been a fun ride. The Pirates got eliminated officially last night, so they're out. The other argument you might make for the Jackson Merrill and Paul Skeens thing is that, Padres are making the playoffs. They might still win a division, and the Buccos are not. The Padres, listen, start to look at those, Kevin. I know you're looking at different things, but, I know you got a place to go out in San Diego. I'll pick you up at the airport. We'll go to a playoff game. Keep it on the docket. We got places to go.
Yeah, we'll keep tabs. Let me ask you with the Yankees tonight. Short favorite, Louis Heel goes. We mentioned those awards. A big night if you have a Louis Heel American League ticket. It looks like his big competition could be his own teammate in Austin Wells, but Colton Cowser's number is still there, Dave. Do you have any thoughts on the Yankees here, who have had truly what I think is one of the most bizarre seasons I can remember, where everybody will tell you they are absolutely garbage and they have the best record in their league somewhat comfortably? I mean, well, again, I guess I keep looking past the Guardians. Like, they have the third best record in baseball.
Yeah.
And the normal talk on the New York Yankees, again, a favorite tonight in Seattle, is they are garbage.
I don't understand where it comes from. I mean, I kind of do because, I talk to Peralta every day, and he's a Boston guy, and they don't like their teams when they're bad, but they really don't like their teams when they're good. Sometimes I feel
the one thing for me, kind of a line reader, if you will, Diamondbacks Rockies probably gets over that number. For Arizona to be in Colorado and be that short of a number, it lets you kind of know how little trust there is in Jordan Montgomery.
Correct.
And it's somewhat earned. That game probably blasts through what is obviously still a big-time number at an 11 spot right now. What we'll do is we'll hit a break, give you an update on your W card, ask Dave quickly about Tua, and then we'll get you out of here on a Tuesday night. Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
It's a new era in CFB to start off this year, put on full display.
My take on this game is simple. I know some people will be upset about it. Good riddance to the Pac-12.
Can you do it in terms of a week to week to week?
I don't see a pathway for this team to miss the college football playoffs.
We want to make sure you have those best bets in the entirety of our betting cards. That was thinking! But he had that program was already going there!
Only on SportsGrid.
Let's go. Welcome to the Live Golf Team Championship.
The golf has been mesmerizing.
They are the Live Golf Team Champions.
Team golf is back.
Oh, yes! Are you ready?
Let's go! That's what champions do.
All right, updates quickly on the W board. We got 3 games going right now, 2 at half, and the other just saw the first quarter end. Atlanta up 8 on the Sky. I mentioned I didn't think Kennedy Carter was going to miss this game. That shifted that 9-point line up to 11. No reason to jump in on Chicago. If they could backdoor a number, great. Maybe they are just looking to miss the playoffs. I mean, look, let's call it what it is. With the way they've been with some of this, double-double stuff, if Angel can't play, maybe nobody can play in the playoffs. I don't know what it is. The Sky right now down 8 to the Atlanta Dream. Liberty up double digits on the Mystics, and we've got the Sun trailing by 5 to the Lynx. But good news for the Alyssa Thomas 10-plus bet. She's got 8 points there
at halftime. So we are in business with that. And don't forget, later on tonight, Gabby Williams over 13.5 points. Favorite bet of the night is Gabby Williams to go over that number with Jewel Lloyd and Ezzie out as well for Seattle. She could potentially get a season-high field goal attempts against the Vegas Aces. Let me ask you quickly, Dave, you've been following the W. Playoffs are approaching.
I kind of mailed it in about a week ago. I thought the season ended. Like, I thought this week was no games and getting ready for the playoffs. So I apologize for my lack of knowing where teams are. I will follow up with it as we get closer to the playoffs. But I saw some fever stuff that made me interested. She can't win the MVP, can she?
Nope, not at all. No chance.
All right. Just want to make sure.
And also, like, legitimately, I don't know when they usually give it out. There's no reason to mess around. They might as well give it out to Aja in their last home game. Like, do they have their final game of the year is a home against Dallas? They might as well give it to her there.
Okay.
And don't even bother doing it during the playoffs.
Okay.
Look, I maintain it is odd that she is having what is going to go down as maybe the best season in the history of this league. And they are massively underachieving due to normal expectations. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's her fault.
Right.
But
okay.
she's breaking the single-season points record, rebounds record. I mean, now, look, they play more games now than they used to, but also, like, on a per-game basis, it's the most points ever, and I think it's the second Angel in terms of rebounds ever. So
right.
It's an all-time season that you're seeing from Aja Wilson. I mentioned to it, Dave, I just wanted to get this thought. Books closed win totals, I saw. We know he's on IR. That's 4 games.
Yep.
Still have open those future markets. But again, I think we've talked about this. That's because those are all yes prices, right?
Right.
There's no under that people can kind of grab. If you were in the room, this 2 news comes out, how would you be reacting?
Who's playing quarterback? Do we know?
Skylar Thompson or Tyler Huntley?
I certainly didn't. I mean, that requires an adjustment down. Yeah, we're probably they closed 9.5 juice, I think, slightly to the under. And if we're going to let them take another shot at it, I think we have to make it 6-11, 7-10 would be the number, somewhere in there. So I might make it 7 and say fire away. If you like under, you can take a shot. It's a couple, but it's not like 4. They don't go to the worst team in the league. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the issue, for me, the issue is we have no idea when he's coming back. Right. He's not on the IR, and then he's back the next game.
No,
he might. Again, I'm not trying to be dramatic with any of the Tua stuff. It's on the board. He never plays in the NFL again.
100%.
So we just don't know how that's going to look. Dave, let me let you get out of here. On In-Game Live next. Who do you got tonight? Ranieri, Wetzel, what's the story?
Wetzel and me, we got Dan Alexander, we got Kaplan, and we got Cam Stewart.
Newbie.
We're going to recap NFL. Yep, newbies on. Eagles, got to talk about it. I happen to wear the Falcons.
Don't just talk lacrosse. Talk lacrosse.
No lacrosse talk now.
No.
Season's done. We're done with the
Why?
lacrosse. It's over. That's it.
Is it?
We're done. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
I need you for some college football. You got to let me know when you got time. We got to catch up. USC's going to house Michigan in the big house. House them. Bye-bye. What?
I'll tell you. All right. Here's the thing.
Quick.
He'll stick around for this. I got a text last week that I should have calculated a little bit better, and I should have known Kentucky was that play. It wasn't even from the guy. It was from a guy who's not usually a guy, but in that spot he was a guy, and I should have known Kentucky was the play. All I'm saying, though, is we're putting out early feelers. The danger man, Alex Orgy's got the football. Michigan buzz is real. Michigan buzz is real, people. Easy back there. Kevin Walsh, I'll see you Thursday. In-Game Live's next.